drop a whole turkey in a vat of 350-degree cooking oil and not think twice about it.
And hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Have you seen the YouTubes about?
Yeah, it drives me crazy because I mean, you know, they heat the oil up to 600 degrees and drop a frozen turkey in. What the hell do you think's gonna happen? You know, it drives me crazy. I mean, I've done. I guess I was approached by Tony Sashry to be their chef spokesperson, and one of the goals was to go out and not only promote the seasoning, but was to promote the whole turkey frying process because they had come out with this injectable marinade, and so I worked with them for about 3 years, and then I was in Birmingham, Alabama, doing a promotion for Tony Sashry's frying turkey on the Fox affiliate there, and didn't think nothing of it. Kind of went about my business. What I would do is just kind of go from city to city, TV station to TV station, and I got back to Lafayette, and I got this call. I got an email from an ad agency in Birmingham, Alabama. They had just acquired the Louisiana account, the Louisiana peanut oil account. And Louisiana wanted them to figure out how to promote frying turkeys to the country. And they're sitting in Birmingham, Alabama, just totally clueless about this whole process. And all of a sudden I show up on one of their interns had been watching the morning show, and there I was frying this turkey. So I got the call from the ad agency in Birmingham. And I wound up working for Louisiana for the next 7 years, traveling the countryside, just frying turkeys, and from every place from Dothan, Alabama to New York City, on the sidewalk in New York City. And but it's a process that even I was kind of skeptical of it in the beginning. I felt like, well, I know how to roast a turkey without drying it out, because, so at first I was kind of skeptical about it, but heck, they wanted to pay me, so I got unskeptical about it. But, and the first, and I don't really always tell this story because, and I'm not sure exactly at this point how much I'm going to tell you all about my first turkey frying experience. But it wasn't pretty because I had a defaulty, I was going to Shreveport, Louisiana to do my first turkey frying television appearance. And I said, well, I guess I ought to fry one of these things before I go do it. A lot of times I was just kind of, and so I'm at my house on Barrel School Road, and I'm got my turkey fryer out, and I'm look at the thermometer at 350 degrees, okay, I'm fine. I drop my turkey in, well, man, it just balls over. And I'm like, oh crap, that's not good.
Not on TV.
Not on TV. And so I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe earlier, because I'm sorry. At that point, I figure out, okay, well, I got to regroup on this deal a little bit, but I said the thermometer, it must be the thermometer. So I get in my car and I'm driving to Shreveport, it's probably 8 or 9 o'clock at night by then, and I stop at a Walmart and get a new thermometer. And I'm actually doing it at the reporter's house in his garage on his concrete slab, and I'm just kind of holding my breath. I bought 2 thermometers and checked, and sure enough, and the rest is history, as they say, and that was my first turkey. But I was like, wait a minute, I mean, I can roast a turkey without drying it out, because the problem is, somehow, I don't know who started this whole idea that you got to put the turkey in at 2 o'clock in the morning to get ready for noon. I don't know who started that whole process of cooking a turkey. But I know, it was because they wanted to have the turkey out of the oven to be able to do the casseroles and all that.
Well, and also cooking for festive occasions is a performance.
Yeah.
And how many times, guys, how many times have you been out by your barbecue pit, and somebody walks up and they says, how long have you been cooking that? Mm-hmm. It's the classic question, as though, only long cooking works.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, you got to cook that long. Make it tender.
How is the pop over there?
Not gonna last long. of course, we all know the old propane apparatus, which is great. You know, I mean, I use nothing but propane, but a company out of Alabama, believe it or not, developed these electric fryers, and they're really good because, I mean, you don't have to go freeze yourself, you know, freeze it outside, or it really makes it a lot simpler. You're not dealing with the propane, but getting back to the whole, you know, YouTube video of the turkey exploding, you know, it's not that complicated. Yes. I mean, can you boil water? Do you scald yourself when you boil water? Well, no. Well, you can fry turkey. You know, it's like you just have to use a little bit of common sense, and I sometimes short supply. No, I understand that. So, you know, not only you want to make sure you know how to boil water, but they have a little bit of common sense. So, even with the propane process. Again, you got to watch the burner. You want the thing is it's the temperature. You want to make sure that you want to start a little hot because the temperature is going to drop. Yeah.
Does it take the same amount of oil, one versus the other, as far as propane versus electric?
Yeah, 3 gallons is all you need. I've seen recipes. I won't mention the chef's name, Emerald Lacoste. But I saw a recipe one time where it called for 8 gallons of peanut oil.
That's because you work for Louisiana.
No, I work for Louisiana. I wouldn't take it by 8 gallons of peanut oil. No, I think it's the pot. You know, before, you know, it took 8 gallons to fill up a big jambalaya pot. But
Because you have a lot of lost space.
yeah, you had a lot of lost space. And so now they've come up with these pots, you know, that are specifically designed to use just 3 gallons. Because let's face it, peanut oil is not cheap either. That's the other downside to this whole process. But, so anyway, so I fried my first turkey in Shreveport, Louisiana. The next 10 years, I spent my time traveling around and working for these companies. And, you know, the first time I did it right, I went, okay, that's pretty good. Second time, oh, that's not bad. Third time, I'm like, that's the only way to eat turkey. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that once you experience it, it's really hard to go back to roasting your turkey in the oven. Yeah.
And I might have missed it, but you mentioned, you said you had bought a new thermometer. You thought the thermometer was the problem for the
Yeah.
boil over. What ended up being the problem?
The thermometer was the problem. The thermometer I bought with the turkey fryer was malfunctioning. So it was reading 350 degrees, but it was actually 550 degrees. And again, you can drop a turkey, I don't care if it's frozen or not, in 500-degree oil, you're going to have some problems. And
Pretty flame though.
no, it takes about 600. The reason you use peanut oil also is because it has a high flash point. The flash point, if everybody doesn't know, is at the point at where oil will instantaneously combust. And peanut oil has the highest flash point. So one, it's got to get up to about 600 degrees before it'll actually, you know, explode. But two, it makes it very durable. It holds up to frying a turkey.
It doesn't break down.
It doesn't break down. The oil doesn't break down. I can fry 3 or 4 turkeys in this one batch of oil. So, and it also imparts this nice, nutty, you know, aromatic flavor onto the turkey. And what you're doing is you're actually searing the inside of the turkey. And so you're searing out the oil. And everybody thinks, oh, it's, you know, it's fatty, it's greasy. You're looking at about, let's see, about, if I can remember, about 25 more calories and about maybe 5 grams of fat more of, you know, fried turkey versus traditional oven roasted turkey. So it's really not that fatty and caloric. And again, by injecting it with a marinade, which we're going to do in a minute, and by searing it in that 350-degree cooking oil, you're searing out the oil, you're searing in the moisture and the flavor. So that's why it's so moist on the inside. And you know, again, the only problem with this, the electric versus the propane, is that the skin doesn't come out as crisp in this electric fryer as it does in the propane. Don't ask me why, but because I love that crisp skin coming from that electric fryer, because again, you lose a lot of temperature, you use a lot of heat with these particular electric fryers. But, you know, getting back, I have some, I didn't bring enough apparently, but I have a copy of the process on how to fry turkey, and then I also have another tradition I have around my house at Christmas time or Thanksgiving is the day after turkey gumbo. Out of the carcass from the fried turkey. I mean, that, you know, I was cooking my turkey gumbo actually Thursday afternoon in anticipation of having it for the next day, because it's always better when it sits the next day, you know, sits overnight. So that's kind of some of the, you know, and I could get into the whole, you know, green bean casserole with the onions on top of it and the cornbread dressing and all those traditions. But you guys all have those same traditions around, you know. And I do make a little spicy Creole cream cheese and shrimp dip that I like. It's kind of a little starter for the day, because to start off kind of light, because you know you're gonna eat. So you can't eat no more. I always do a pecan pie, because I find that most pecan pies that are store-bought or whatever are really overly sweet. And the pecan pie that I make, while it's got a lot of sugar and corn syrup in it, people tell me it's not as sweet as, you know, it doesn't make your teeth hurt when you eat it. But, you know, I'm trying to, you know, again, I love a cornbread dressing. Also, oysters at holidays time is always, you know, boy, I tell you what, I thought twice about it. I got a quart of them, but my God, they were $25 a quart, you know. But we have fried oysters. It's kind of a little appetizer also around the house, because I got the fryer fired up, so I'll skim a little grease off and fry some oysters. So those are kind of some of the traditions we have around. But again, I think the turkey thing, although it's been around for 25 or 30 years, I think, you know, it's like Barry was saying, we didn't really fry things in Louisiana. The whole concept of fried foods, although we all think it's been around for a long time, it hasn't really been around that long.
Since the 50s, I guess.
You know, it's just since the 50s, and you started having a proliferation of restaurants, because you got to remember, all this food that we eat nowadays was created in the house, and it was very seldom. I grew up in Crowley, Louisiana. We never ate fried seafood, because we lived in the plains of Acadia Parish, and we didn't get seafood. We got seafood on Good Friday when we boiled crawfish, or, you know, if it was a special occasion, we might fry some catfish.
And both of those were available to people who lived in the prairie.
Right, because you can get the catfish out of the bayou, but shrimp, man, that was big time boy, when we ate shrimp. You know, and even
Oysters even worse.
and oysters, you know, I don't think I ate an oyster until I was an adult almost, you know, because we just didn't have those things in Crowley, Louisiana. We had plenty of pork and beef, and I used to love to go to Robichaud's meat market. I think, you know, for me personally, it was kind of through osmosis, this whole food thing.